Alright guys, it's War again. Kel again. We haven't left. We're doing the next video. So in this one we're going to talk about chops and wraps. It's basically just proper shop mechanics so that you don't break yourself, so that you don't hurt other people, and so in general, because shop mechanics will help you stay alive longer, right? And that's what this is about. So we're going to talk about the mechanic of a shot first. So put that glove on. There you go. So the first thing is I hold my weapon with two fingers, right? And then I wrap my other three around, but my other three are more there just for support. These two fingers, the entire time, I can throw all of my shots with these two fingers the whole time. Now, if I have my other three wrapped around it, it's a little bit more power, a little bit more finesse. I'm able to control my weapon a whole lot better. So, I will tell everybody, do not hold your weapon hammer grip. There's a likelihood of someone throwing a shot, blocking said shot, and then hitting the weaker part of your weapon, and getting your thumb backwards, is extremely high. So we don't want to do that. Okay. The other one is just fist gripping it. Now, fist gripping has some benefits. The only benefit is that I don't really know the benefits. I honestly don't know the benefits to holding your weapon this way. You don't have as much control. Sure, I can just throw my shot forward, but it's more like I'm punching. And if I were to wrap, I don't quite have the control that I want to have as to where the tip of my weapon is going. I will say saber gripping, this is called saber gripping, is you have way more control over where you're going to put your weapon and the ability to articulate where you want it to go. The other thing, the only motion my wrist makes is going to be this motion to extend it. But otherwise, my wrist does not make this motion unless I'm blocking. Okay. It's only blocking this way where I can also use my elbow to brace against my body. Right? In bell, it's more prudent to, instead of turning my wrist, to hold my wrist straight. There's a lot more power used in bell, a lot heavier weapons used in bell, as far as like reds and stuff like that, or great weapons. So when throwing a chop, you're going to use 2 points to bend. So it's going to be your elbow, and your wrist is going to extend straight out. I'm not going to hyperextend my elbow. I don't want to do that. You will damage your elbows. You'll end up with tennis elbow. Just a lot of problems come with that. So we're going to keep our elbow slightly bent when we throw. And the other motion that I'm using is my shoulder. My shoulder is doing this motion. Okay. So that's a simple chop. Now you can chop every zone on a body. I'm not going to go into the zones right now, but you can chop every zone in the body. No problem. Even me standing here in neutral zone, I can worry every zone in his body with a simple chop. Now, wrapping, which we'll get into here in a few minutes, is a lot nicer. Flat wrapping is really nice, feels really nice, and makes it to where you can get around people's guards, around their shield, around their hand guard, and we'll also kind of go into a little bit of movement with that. Actually, I think we'll go into movement in the next video. So, just simple chopping. Go into your guard for your stance. So just simply chopping, right, from right here, that motion, same motion that I just talked about, okay, all I'm doing is just straight, and I'm able to hit his wrist, or hit his foot. Now, the block. So we're going to go into a little bit of the block. So when he blocks this, what he's doing is he's turning his wrist out a little bit, and then bringing his arm so that I can lock him before I'm hitting his escape. Now he can do this with every chop as well. So if I chop outside, he's going to do the same thing. If I chop outside, he's going to do the same thing. So the chop mechanic is super important. It allows for a faster chop. Everything that I just explained, it allows for a faster movement. You're going to use less energy than, say, if I'm throwing from back here, or if I'm not resetting properly. I have my reset out in front of me, and not here, not on my shoulder. So we want here, this zone right here, and all I want to do is just snap forward. Now if I'm actually throwing this with speed and power, so there's a lot you can expand on that and get faster and get stronger and hit harder. We're going to go into wraps now. Wraps are fun. Everybody loves wraps. I think I first learned how to wrap in my first year. Actually, Cedric taught me how to wrap. And how he taught me how to wrap was basically, he explained it to me that I'm going to take a bowl of soup and I want to dump it behind my opponent. Right? Now, the reason why he explained to dump it behind my opponent is because the idea is I want to have my weapon behind me when I go to dump this bowl of soup. So the idea is going as far back behind them so that my weapon can get behind them. Anywhere on the backside. So, but where wraps have become very useful for single sword. So, single sword, I can wrap two different ways on his wrist, right here. Right? I can reverse wrap him the same way. Now, all I'm doing, my wrist is staying the same, just like I was chopping, right? So, I'm just going to extend out, and I'm going to rotate this forearm. I'm not extending my elbow. I'm not overextending my body. What I want is I just want to go from this guard stance down to this. Okay. Now, that is the simplest way to do a reverse wrap. It's literally just elbow dropping into your ribs and bringing that shoulder down a little bit, and then extending your arm out. Right? The other way to flat wrap his forearm would be the inside wrap. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go from my stance here, and I'm just going to drop straight down. So it's all I'm doing is just turning the elbow a little bit and extending a little bit. Now you can do this on every portion of his body. Okay, I can reverse wrap his shoulder here. I can flat wrap his shoulder here. If he's got a sword and board, I can juke him out of his boots, flat wrap his shoulder here. Now, the thing to be aware of, and this is why we use this way of holding our weapon, is if I was fist gripping or hammer gripping, I wouldn't have the control over this flat wrap, and I may hit his ear, I may hit his neck, I may hit his head. So we want as much control when we're throwing anything close to the head, so that you don't get head called on you, or you just don't piss off your opponent or friend or whoever. So yes, that. We want to articulate the elbow only. We're not articulating the wrist. okay, and I don't even know how to do that. I know that there's ways.
The ice cream scoop.
Oh yeah, so that is one way. And then when you see people go like this, they're throwing like this. They're gonna lock out their elbow. They're gonna overextend their wrist, liable to tear something in here, and liable to possibly break the wrist as well. Maybe even hyperextend the elbow further. Not just like tear it out. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't even know. I totally forgot that was the thing. So now we're gonna go into the normal wrap. The normal wrap is same thing. We're gonna bull soup it, right? We want to rotate our wrist, not our wrist, sorry, rotate our elbow into our opponent, right? So the idea is, if I'm going to fully wrap on it, right? I want this motion right here, where I'm coming out and I'm just coming out, right? Okay. So again, we're not overextending the wrist when we do this. Our wrist is going to kind of flatten out a little bit and be kind of parallel with our forearm. The elbow is going to be what's doing the rotating for us. And that's also what's going to give us the amount of power that we want. Or if you're in bell, you're going to want more power. If you're in amp guard, it's more on the finesse side. Not really going to go into any of the crazy, like, drop your, lower your stance to try and throw like the money shot or any of these other crazy shots. We're not going to really go into that. Just want to basically explain, that when we're throwing wraps, we want to be safe, because the wraps are what can hurt you, right? If I throw this wrap wrong, right? If I start it way out here and I come here, what's going to happen is my forward motion is going to be like this. My elbow's going to lock out, and I'm only going to be able to throw that maybe like 5 times before my elbow starts hurting. So the best way to do this is going to be straight out and a rotation. So we're basically throwing the flat wrap, but it's going to be more extended out instead of being right here. So the idea is this motion, just like that. Can't really think of anything else. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video, and we're probably going to roll right into the next one.